I cut ties with 3 of my friends, and I feel like this will affect my future relationships. This is the first time I've truly cut ties with someone. Usually, when I want to distance myself from someone, I might reduce the amount of time we talk to, but I don't cut them off completely. It started when we wanted to go out together. We'd agreed on a place and everything was perfect. Then one of my friends, let's call her A, said the day before we were going out that she didn't like the place and wanted to change it. I couldn't change the place because I'd already told my family, and they get upset when things change at the last minute. I got angry and insisted on my decision and the place I was going to. We ended up on splitting up into 2 groups. I went somewhere with another friend, let's call her C, and of course A went somewhere else with her best friend. We agreed to meet up afterward at a specific time to walk around a bit and then go home. After that, I was confirming the time we were supposed to meet, in the public group, when A told me she wasn't going at that time we agreed on first, and that she'd arranged a different time privately with her best friend without telling me or C. She said she did that because we split, and left us with 2 choices. Either we went to the time she'd set, or we wouldn't meet. Of course, at the time, it didn't matter to me, and I decided to go to the first time we'd agreed on. However, I was a little late because C was stuck in the traffic jam and came late. This led to us into meeting A and her best friend by accident. I thought it wasn't important that I am mad at her right now, and tried to talk to A normally, but I felt like she was looking down at me and didn't respond the first time. I felt like she couldn't stand me, so I apologized and left quietly. We wanted to go out again, and A's best friend said that A wanted to go out too. We were in it together, and even though I didn't like the situation, I thought it was okay. Maybe we could give each other another chance. And just because I had a problem with her didn't mean I should let my friends cut her off too. So we made another group. But then I noticed that A and her best friend weren't replying to my messages and were ignoring me. It bothered me at the time, to be honest. I was venting with C and told her about it, but I told her I wasn't upset with them personally, just with their behavior. Then I opened the group and saw they were suggesting activities for when we went out, so I decided to participate too. I noticed that A's bullied my suggestions and called them cringe, and honestly, that bothered me a bit. After a while, I decided to lighten the mood and joke around with A bit because I had something on my mind. Maybe this could improve our relationship a bit. She got annoyed by my joke, and I think she found it a bit much. So instead of saying she didn't like my joke, she linked it to the fact that I was doing this because I was upset they were ignoring me in the group. At that moment, I wasn't upset. I had been before, but I felt it was pointless, so I stopped. I talked to her as if she was just making assumptions, and I told her, if you see me that way, that's your problem and you're the one who's wrong. That's when all things got complicated. She started saying, no, I'm not saying that. You're the one saying that. You told that to C and my best friend. That's when I realized that C had ratted on me, told them behind my back, and told them that I was upset because they were ignoring me in the group. She told them not just to A, but also to A's best friend, and I think A's best friend told her too, so it appeared as if I told both of them. At that time, I got confused and tried to understand what was going on. I found A accusing me of lying and saying I was a liar. That's when I got really angry, because for me, the worst thing anyone could accuse me of is lying. So quite simply, I told her I wasn't going to reply on her accusations, and I told everyone I wasn't going out with them, and I left the group. When I confronted C, of course she told me yes, that she told them, but that her intentions were good and she wanted to get me and A along again and all that nonsense that doesn't get anywhere. I haven't forgiven her because she didn't even ask me if she should tell them or not, or if I even wanted to get along with A again. Some time has passed, but I still remember it and think about it. The problem is that I feel like I was wrong about some things, like telling C instead of A and her best friend about the fact that I'm being ignored, and also the last conversation and the misunderstanding that happened at the end could have been explained better, but I didn't feel that A had any respect for me, which would have allowed for a proper discussion. This whole thing is also making me think about my future relationships. I feel like I can't trust anyone easily, especially since someone like C was a really close friend and I used to tell her so much, and then she betrayed me. So what makes me trust my future friends? What makes me think they're even trustworthy? One of my relatives tried to advise me not to cut ties with C because she only made one mistake, but I don't know, I just can't stand her. Plus, I feel like this could affect my relationship with my future husband. I mean, it might make me decide to break up with him after a couple of arguments. I'm trying not to let this whole thing consume my thoughts, but I keep replaying the events.